Hey, welcome. Today's practice is inspired by Garudasana, eagle pose. So expect some shoulder mobility, leg strength, some balance, breath, paying attention, being nice to ourselves. Let me know how it goes. Comments below, a like for the video, maybe subscribe or donate. Enjoy your practice. So as you find your seat, just these first few moments arriving into practice. So you might rest your hands in your lap, you might close your eyes. Inviting your attention to come to the here and the now, and using your breath and the sensations of your breath, any other sensations in the body as tools to anchor your attention. The breath, the sensations in the body are a bit more tangible, so a little easier to tap into. But depending on the depth or the intensity of that breath or those physical sensations, it might also be pretty easy for your attention to move away and to get caught up in thinking, future, past. So notice that. And then rather than kind of feeling like that's a failure when your attention goes to or gets caught in kind of that chain, see if you can be gentle, acknowledge that that's what your mind does, and then invite the attention to return to the breath, the anchor of the sensations in the body. And maybe reminding yourself that the practice is not so much keeping the mind clear, but about remembering that you have the choice to bring your attention back, to choose what your attention focuses on, and to also have a certain amount of choice what the content of your mind is. So we'll stay for a few more moments here, giving us a chance to practice that invitation to come back to the here and the now, the anchor of your breath, your body. And one more invitation to anchor on the body and the breath. A couple more cycles here. And then you could keep your eyes closed for this next part, lowering the chin towards your chest as you stretch through the back of your neck. You might invite your shoulder blades to draw back and down some. And then when you're ready, guide the right ear towards the right shoulder as you find now a stretch through the left side of your neck. And then return chin to chest and take it over to the other side, left ear, left shoulder. And then back through center, chin to chest. One more time, right ear, right shoulder. And maybe here you find some rotation, drawing the chin towards the shoulder, looking down, and then lifting the chin away from the chest towards the ceiling, any amount, looking up. And then we'll return chin to chest. Pause here for a moment. Remind those shoulder blades to draw back and down. And then take left ear towards left shoulder. And maybe here explore some rotation. Chin towards shoulder, chin away from shoulder towards ceiling. And then return in, chin towards the chest. Take a breath in and out. And then lift your chin, looking forward, eyes open if you had them closed. And then let's bring the hands to kind of the waist area or maybe lower rib cage. So your elbows are going to be bent and pointing out to the sides. And then we're going to take those elbows to point back and feel your shoulder blades squeeze. And then draw your elbows out and bring them forward some, feeling your shoulder blades spread away from one another some. And then again, keeping your hands at your waist, draw your elbows back, shoulder blades squeeze. And then draw your elbows wide forward and shoulder blades spread. One more time, inhale and exhale. And now find that neutral place for your shoulder blades. Maybe remind that spine to grow tall. And now we'll keep the elbows bent, but now the hands no longer on your waist. So you might kind of have your hands dangling some. Your elbows might be in line with your shoulders or a bit lower, but your forearms are down, palms facing back. And then the same movement through those shoulder blades. So we're going to draw those elbows back, shoulder blades squeeze. And then we're going to draw elbows forward, shoulder blades spread. And then again, take them back, any amount, and take them forward. We're going to be changing position of those arms a little bit, but we're still going to do the same movement through the shoulder blades, upper back, chest. But you'll notice how the position of your arms affects to some extent that movement, the sensations too. We'll do one more, taking those elbows back and bringing them forward. And then come back to kind of a neutral place through your shoulder blades, and now lift your forearms. So now your forearms are up, your palms are facing forward, and then same movement, shoulder blades squeeze, elbows draw back, and shoulder blades spread, elbows forward. And then again, a few more at your own pace here, finding that movement through your upper back. And remind again the mind to come back to the sensations of the body and the breath. And we'll do one more. And then come back to that neutral place with your shoulder blades, and then extend your arms any amount so they won't come like all the way up. Your palms are still facing forward, your elbows still bent, but maybe your upper arm is a little higher. And then same movement, shoulder blades squeeze, notice how that changes, and shoulder blades move apart. Direction of movement here, so don't force things, don't get any, if you feel any tweaks, twinges, anything that doesn't feel good, back off. But there's still the movement through that upper back, the chest. Now we'll do one more of each. And then come back through center. Now extend your arms all the way up and really reach, pull or reach a little bit more through the right fingers, and then reach a bit more through the left. And maybe find a little bit more of this side movement, making space in the side waist, side ribs. So it's not like a side bend, it's a lengthening, shall we say. Getting a little taller from side to side. And take one more of each. And then come back through center. Now interlace your fingers overhead, palms towards the ceiling, push away. Take a full breath in. And then as you exhale, palms forward, and we're rounding the spine. So chin to chest, and now really expand through that back body. And then we're coming back up. Inhale, reaching tall. And again, exhale, rounding. Push forward with your palms, press back with your back body. Another one, inhale towards the ceiling, lengthen, and exhale, round. And then as you inhale, come back through center, extending your arms tall, and side bend, right hand down and reach up and over with the left. Inhale, center, exhale to the other side. Inhale, center, exhale again to the right. This time pause here, top elbow bends, hand to the back of the head, and as you inhale, open up, looking up towards the ceiling if it's comfortable. On your exhale, left elbow towards the right thigh, look down. Inhale again, we open up. Exhale, we round down. One more time, inhale, open. And exhale, lower. With your next breath in, come back through center, reaching those arms up. And let's take that side bend to the left. Left hand down, reach up and over. Bend that top elbow, hand to the back of the head, and same movement here, opening up on the inhale. Exhale as we lower, right elbow towards left thigh. Open up, pairing with your breath. Exhale. And another one, open. And exhale. Now with your next breath in, come back through center. Maybe those arms reach tall. This time let your arms be kind of loose. Wiggle your hands, maybe a little shake even. And then release your arms down by your side. If you were sitting asymmetrically, maybe you switch and find the other side. Find your sit bones nicely planting. A few more movements here in our seat. Rest your hands on your thighs, and then as you inhale, lift your shoulders all the way up by your ears. And on your exhale, only lower your left shoulder. Inhale, lift, and now only lower the right. Inhale, lift, only lower your left. Pause here and turn your head to look left. And then turn your head to look right. Return the head through center, lift that left shoulder. Exhale, lower the right shoulder. Keep that right shoulder down, your spine tall, and then look over your right shoulder. And look over your left. Bring the head back through center, bring both shoulders by your ears, and then on your exhale, soften them down. Take your arms out into a T, palms face forward, and then maybe squeeze those shoulder blades, take your arms back, and then palm to palm in front of us. Inhale again, open up. And now on your exhale, right arm over left, but keep them extending so you're reaching. Inhale, open. Left arm over right and keep reaching. And then again, open, palm to palm, exhale. Open, right arm over left, reach the crossing. Inhale, open, and last one, left over right, cross, reach. As you inhale, open, turn your palms to face back and slide the hands behind you, interlace them at the lower back. Keep your elbows bent and slide your hands towards the right hip. And then center towards the left. And center, and again right, center, and left. Nice job. And then come back through center. If there is space, extend your elbows, reaching those hands towards the floor, and find some extra space in the chest, fronts of your shoulders. Notice that squeeze again of your shoulder blades. Maybe you activate that a bit more. And then as you're ready, release that, reaching those arms tall. And on your exhale, we'll make our way into table. So you might roll over those legs, you might come to the side. When you find your table pose, give your feet a little movement, your ankles, tap against the ground, maybe some rotation. Maybe you swing your shins, your feet from side to side as you kind of shift your hips to a little bit side to side. And then return those shins through center, tops of the feet to the mat. And let's find some regular cows and cats, but we'll slow things down. So tailbone up, belly lowers. Feel the ribs, the front ribs expand, the chest come forward, the chin lift, the gaze lift. And then reverse that. The gaze lowers, the chin tucks under, the chest hides, the front ribs hide, the belly hides, tailbone tucks, cat. And then again, at your own pace, but if you can slow things down a bit, do so. So that the whole spine finds movement or some amount of movement. Sometimes when we go quick, only the more mobile parts of the spine get to move, and the more, like the ones that have less range, we don't give them the opportunity. We get distracted by the more mobile parts. And we'll do one more of each. And then when you're ready, come to a neutral spine, and we'll extend that left leg out behind us. Take a moment here, lengthening. Imagine that your left leg was moving away from your hip, and then draw it back in. So from the outside, it doesn't seem like anything's happened, but there's like a little bit more space, and then a little less, more support through the musculature around your hip. Take another breath in. And then as you exhale, draw that knee into your chest and round your spine. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, left knee to left elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Left knee to right elbow is coming underneath you. Inhale, lengthen. Let's do that again. Knee to chest, maybe to nose. Inhale, lengthen, knee to left elbow, maybe up towards the shoulder. Inhale, lengthen, and knee crosses underneath, right elbow, maybe outside of right elbow. As you inhale, lengthen out, and now keep the leg long as you take that left foot over towards the right side and you tap the floor. And then bring it back through center and over towards the left and you tap. And then again, center, and to the right, tap. And center, and to the left, tap. One more time, we're going through center, over towards the right side, but see if instead of tapping with your big toe, you can tap with your pinky toe, or even the pinky toe edge of the foot. And then come back through center, and take it over towards the right side and tap with your big toe. As you inhale, bring it back through center, land on the ball of the foot, the knee is lifted, and send your hips a little back. Give a big stretch through the back of the leg. Take a breath in and out. And then bend your left knee and return to your table pose. Turn your left palm over. Palm is facing up, fingers point towards the knee, giving a counter stretch through the left wrist. Press those fingernails down, take a breath. And then return onto the palm and switch right hand over, palm faces up. Counter stretch for your right wrist, press through those fingernails. And then return onto that palm. We're going to extend the right leg out this time. We're going to keep it lifted. maybe pointing through the toes. And then again, without a big movement, make space in your right hip as if your right leg was reaching away. And then kind of hug in that right leg there at your hip, pulling it gently in. And if you'd like, try that again. What is it like to kind of reach away? And what is it like to gently pull it in? And then from here, take another inhale. And as you exhale, bend the knee and draw it into your chest. Inhale, lengthen. Right knee to your right elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Right knee underneath towards the left elbow. We'll do it again. Lengthen. Knee to chest. Maybe nose. Lengthen. Knee to right elbow, maybe to shoulder. Lengthen. And knee underneath you towards left elbow, maybe outer elbow. As you inhale, lengthen, keep the leg long, and then we're going to take that right foot over towards the left side. Tap. Come back through center, towards the right, and tap. Again, center, over to the left. Center, over to the right. One more time, as you take that leg over to the left, see if it's the pinky side that can make contact with ground. And then center and big toe making contact with ground to the right. As you inhale, come back through center, and on your exhale, plant the ball of the foot. Right knee stays lifted, push away, get a stretch through the back of the leg. A little tuck in of the lower belly, breathing in and out. Lower that right knee, you back into your table pose. As you inhale, turn your torso towards the right, free up that right arm, reach it up towards the ceiling. Maybe some gentle rotations through your right wrist. And then we're going to thread. When you're ready, right arm under left and hover. Get as close to the ground as you can. So bend into your left elbow. Inhale again, open up to the right. Exhale, thread left. Inhale, open. And exhale, thread. As you inhale, open. And on your exhale, lower your right hand, come back into your table pose. Same thing on the left side. Open up to the left. Find a little movement through your wrist. Wiggle through your fingers. And then when you're ready, thread that left arm under right. Get close to the ground. Think about reaching away with your fingertips. And then again, open up. And thread. Another one, open. And thread. As you inhale, open. And on your exhale, return to table pose. Take an inhale, cow. And on your exhale, tuck your toes and make your way into a downward facing dog. Drop the head, look from side to side, push the floor away with your hands. Heavy through the heels of the feet, maybe even lifting your toes. Full breath in. And a full breath out. Another one. And then with your next inhale, we'll make our way to the top of the mat. But if you'd like, you could cross your feet as you make your way up. So you could start bringing your right foot forward and then crossing it to the left. And then bringing your left foot forward, crossing it in front of the right over to the right side. And then again, left. And like that, making your way to the top of the mat. Eventually, feet parallel, uncrossing the legs forward, fold. Drop the head, take a breath in and out. With your next inhale, rise all the way up. You could sweep your arms overhead if that feels good. And as you exhale, take a side bend. Inhale, come back through center and over to the other side. Inhale, center. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands and step it back to a downward facing dog. This time it might be a longer down dog, so the heels of the feet might be lifted. Keep lifting your sit bones. Take another breath in and out. With your next inhale, walk your hands towards your feet. And as you exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Arms can reach tall. And exhale, side bend. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, other side. Inhale, center. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Walk your hands to the top of the mat, plank pose, inhale. And on your exhale, take a downward facing dog. With your next inhale, walk forward again, crossing the legs, right foot towards the left foot towards the right. And again, crossing, maybe going all the way to the edges of your mat. And then when you get to the top, legs uncrossed, forward fold. This time we're rising into a chair pose, inhale. And we're bringing hands to rest at chest, exhale. Lift the right heel, come onto the ball of the foot. Lower, lift the left heel. Lower, once again, right. Lower and left. And lower, straighten legs, rise tall. Grab a hold of your left wrist, side bend to the right. Come back through center. Side bend to the left, left hand, right wrist. Come back through center, arms go wide and fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale to downward facing dog. A full breath in and a full breath out. Walk your hands to your feet, back of the mat. Fold on your exhale. Coming back into chair pose, inhale. And bringing hands to heart, exhale. And so we're going for eagle pose here. So sitting down, lighten up on your right foot and see if you can cross your right thigh all the way over the left. Maybe there's a block here on your left to rest your toes on. Maybe you took the toes behind that left leg. Maybe you sit a little lower, see what's available. You could always have a chair or a wall nearby. Rest your hands on it. Take a full breath in and out. When you're ready, release. Right foot down. We're going straight to the other side. So you're staying with knees bent. When you're ready, lighten up on your left foot. Slide that thigh over the right. Choose the version that works here and give it a couple breaths. Draw or slightly lift through that lower belly if you want a bit more stretch through that sacrum area. And then as you're ready, gently release, both feet planted and straighten legs, reach tall, side bend of your choice, exhale. Come back through center, inhale. Take it to the other side, exhale. Come back through center, inhale, to a forward fold, exhale. Halfway lift, inhale, fold, exhale. Walk your hands to the top of the mat. Start in a plank pose first for a breath in. And then take it to a downward facing dog, breath. Now we're going to cross legs in down dog, so you might make it a little shorter if you want. And then see if you can bring your right foot, right leg in front of the left, and then plant the feet. You could do a bit more space between the feet or a bit less, you choose here. But then bring that sensation into the back of the hips, the glute muscles. Your knees could be bent. Take a full breath in and out. And then when you're ready, release that.
Come back into your regular down dog, and then we'll switch sides. Left leg in front of right. And again, adjust your stance as you need. Your hands a bit closer to your feet. Sometimes it's a bit better. As well, a little bit of space front to back between the feet so that you can bend your knees. And then think about lifting through that tailbone, sit bones. Another breath in and out. And then as you're ready, unwind the legs. And then this time, feet parallel as you make your way to the top of the mat, walking up. On your exhale, fold over your legs. On your inhale, chair pose, rising up. And as you exhale, bring hands to your heart. So if you'd like, full eagle, so we'll add the arms. So we'll start with the right leg over the left. And then you could take your arms out, breath in. And then on your exhale, right arm under left. Maybe hands to shoulders. Maybe forearms are lifted. Maybe palms are touching. Give yourself time to be in the pose. So whatever you get to, whatever your pose looks like, give yourself a couple breath to feel it. And then when you're ready, we'll release. See if you can stay in your chair. And then we'll take it to the other side. So left leg now over right. And then again, you could open your arms out, inhale. And then it's left under right with your arms. Breathing in and out. And then we'll unwind, straighten legs, reach tall, and take your side bend. Inhale, center, and take it to the other side. Inhale, center, and we'll fold. Halfway lift to downward facing dog. Full breath in and out. Another one. Walking your hands to your feet, back of the mat. And folding over the legs, exhale. Now keep the legs as they are, your hips as they are, and walk your hands towards the left side. And then see if your right hand can reach a little further. Maybe feeling a stretch around that right shoulder blade. Think about drawing your right hip back. And then come back through center. And then walk your hands towards the right. And then see if that left hand can go a little further to the right. Draw your left hip back. And feel that big stretch, left shoulder blade area. The back of the left ribs. And then return through center with those hands, bend the knees and rise back into your chair pose. Bring your hands to rest at your chest. Take a breath in and out. Right here in your chair, can you find a little bit of tucking of the tailbone, a little lift through the lower belly? So a little bit more rounding through kind of sacrum and lower back, but keep your chest broad. It's tricky because when we're round, we want to kind of round everything. See if you can just do the tailbone tucking, but keep that chest broad. And then push the floor away, straighten legs, reach up. On your exhale, side bend. Come back through center and over to the other side. Come back through center, forward fold. Halfway lift fold. Walk your hands to the top of the mat, find your plank. And then if you'd like in your plank with knees down on earth, move a little bit side to side with your hips so you could roll onto the edges of the feet, the pinky, the big toe edge, and then onto the other side. And then when you're ready, return to center and to downward facing dog. Exhale. Take a full breath in. And then on your exhale, slowly lower your knees to the mat. Your hands more or less under your shoulders for your table pose. And then with your next inhale, a few circles with that right hip. So knee bent and circle it in one direction. And then in the other. And then guide your right knee towards your right elbow. And then guide that right knee over to the outside of the left knee. And then again to your right elbow, to the left knee. And then one more like that, right elbow. And outside or behind the left knee. And now you're going to plant there. Plant your shin, plant your foot. And then from here, see if you can send your shins or your feet away from one another some. Find some rounding through that sacrum, that lower back, and then send your sit bones towards the space between your feet. Any amount here. Now you could stay rounded through your spine, over your legs. You could sit between your feet and lift your spine if you'd like, or if that's available and feels good. You could also try kind of a little bit of eagle arms or something like that. So if you are upright, you could send your left arm under the right, find some eagle arms here, and maybe round, or you could try the eagle, or you could thread. If you folded, you kind of could thread shoulder under, something like that too. So a little bit of an exploration here. You choose. We'll give it a few breaths. And then when you feel ready, unwind what you have, coming back to your table pose. And once you get to your table, wiggle a little bit. Maybe you walk on your knees, side to side, shifting your hips. Maybe there's a bit of a side bend. And some neck rolls might feel nice. And then we'll take that on the other side. So this time we'll float the left knee in a few circles with that left hip. Both directions. And then let's guide that left knee towards the left elbow. And then over to the outside of the right knee in that direction. And then again, elbow, outside of knee. And last one, elbow. And then this time we'll land back of the knee or outside of it. Your thighs are crossed, and then invite your feet to move away apart from one another. And then from here, your sit bones towards the space between the feet. And maybe you stay in this position, rounded through that back body. Maybe think about nose towards knees. Maybe you sit all the way between those feet, lifting that spine, and take some eagle arms here. Maybe you thread
if you are more towards the ground. So you choose. And give it a couple more breaths. And then let's unwind, meeting back in a table pose. Getting a few wiggles out here. Maybe your ankles, your feet could do with a little wiggle. And then eventually let's make our way into a seat. You might swing your feet to one side and then sit all the way behind you. And then once you've found your seat, we're coming straight onto our backs. So feet planted, and you could reach your arms out in front, taking a full inhale. As you exhale, draw the chin to your chest to control the weight of the head, and then slowly lower that spine. And then once you've arrived, let your arms go all the way overhead. And maybe extend your legs to give yourself a stretch here, whole body. And take a full breath in. And out. And then draw those knees into your chest, give them a squeeze. Find a little rocking up and down, lifting and lowering your sacrum. And then you could keep your knees drawing in, but cross your right thigh over the left thigh. So similar shape to what we just did, but facing the ground. And now we've got the back body on the ground. So as your thighs are crossed, you might grab a hold of your shins. And then you might think about your kind of pulling your shins apart with your hands, just gently. So maybe your hands walk more towards your ankles, and then you kind of pull gently out those feet. See how that feels. It's quite the stretch around the glutes. Give it another breath. And then unwind the legs. And then we'll try it on the other side. So before you go there, you might rock side to side a few times. And then we'll cross the left thigh over the right. And you might stay hands behind the thighs, pulling them in towards your chest. Or you might travel hands towards your shins, and then using your hands to pull your shins away from one another. And then when you're ready, release, unwind the legs, plant your feet. Now we'll go for a gentle bridge pose, arms by your side, and lift your hips. And I say gentle because you don't want to go to your full lift, just a bit, so that you can kind of wiggle or maybe shake a little bit those glutes, those hamstrings. So if you take your bridge pose like a full bridge, then your hamstrings and glutes are going to be super engaged. Try kind of like a middle, maybe like even 40% bridge, so that you can kind of shake a little bit the backs of the legs, the glutes. There you go, yeah. Breathing in. And out.
And then when you lower your hips, think about space in the lower back. So think about pulling that tailbone towards the feet, lowering all the way down. And then once your sacrum is down, heel to toe the feet a little further away, maybe a little pigeon toe, and let the knees rest against one another. Get as much of your back body onto the mat as you can. Your hands might rest on your belly. And then not only lengthwise with your spine, but also take some space from left to right. And then take a full breath in. And on your breath out, settle that back body towards the ground. Now this might be a nice shape for Shavasana, comfortable, grounded. But if you prefer a different shape, go there. And then once you arrive again, an open mouth exhale to encourage that settling, that grounding, that letting go. Shavasana. And just like we did at the beginning of practice, noticing where our attention is at, maybe noticing the content of the mind, the thoughts, the content of those thoughts. And then using the breath, the sensations in the body to anchor the mind into the present moment.
So you might begin to find a bit more of a deeper breath. And then with that breath, you can invite some movement back into your body. And we'll eventually meet in a seat, making your way there without a rush and taking your time. And choosing to rest your hands in your lap or anywhere that feels comfortable. And you might allow your eyes to stay closed for a little bit longer. As we take this moment to acknowledge the practice itself, to also acknowledge ourselves and our own practice, to remember all those who have practiced with us, and to acknowledge all those who have made it possible. And we'll end with a word that means that the light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste.